Welcome to Calmcast, Episode 2, Bhimashankar and the Mystical Opera of the Fireflies. The rains had just begun at Bhimashankar, and a fresh carpet of green was laid down for nature lovers to rejoice. Mother Nature often entices us with surprises that soothe our soul and mind, and often leaves behind a treasure of moments to cherish. I just witnessed a live opera and the experience left me spellbound. I'm still in the hangover of the blissful experience which I enjoyed for hours and yet couldn't come out of it. Call it the rhythm without music or dance without direction. The pleasant, divine, and serene atmosphere of Bhimashankar was indeed an affair to remember. You just can't stop falling in love to the warmth of the sky and the rhythm of the dancing fireflies enticing you with its peculiar charm, setting the stage for the finest night fantasy. It was a discotheque of the Mother Nature without sound pollution, where thousands or rather millions gather to enthrall the souls of any nature lover to fall in love with it. I wish there are many more deciduous pubs like these for the generations to fall in love with it. What my eyes experienced and the soul sensed can never be translated through a photograph. But yet, some of the finest of the gazettes captured this memorable event and is up for a comprehensive display with the highest efforts of expertise behind creating it. The thrill behind this event has to be neatly put for you to enjoy the enigma of this event. And it all began this way. Myself, along with a group of 13 nature enthusiasts, serenity lovers, photographers, and impressionists, you may call us whatever you want, headed to this wonderful destination to experience the onset of the monsoons. All thanks to my dear friend Dr. Sudhir Gaikwad, who arranged this memorable tour of Bhimashankar for each one of us. He is perhaps the only determined soul I have ever seen so far who accomplishes every bit about what he says and helps fulfill others' expectations with his lion-hearted approach. And the best thing about him is that he never ever gives up. The only reason for this is his passion for the wild and his inquisitiveness and skilled efforts to achieve what he dreams. He plans it in such a way that we always achieve more is the final outcome that one would get through his tours. This time, the company was a blessing in disguise, accompanied by some skilled photographers like Durga Prasad, Dwijendra Kane, and Dr. Santosh Kumar as newcomers, along with our regular circle of nature lovers, was a treat indeed. I would rather categorize myself as a birder first and then as a photographer, as I like observing their habitat and enjoying the subject that unfolds through my storytelling. Similarly, I look high to a recent friend of mine, Dr. Rajneesh Ghadi, a Vasai resident who has become an ace communicator as a birder and has brought his town, Vasai, in the limelight for bird watching. Indeed, he is a skilled observer and a noble soul to interact with. Others to be complimented were beloved Mr. and Mrs. Ponkshe, Mr. and Mrs. Paradkar, with their budding daughter Ketki, who is the youngest enthusiast in our group, Neeta Taska, Anaga Agharkar, and a new gem who is not only a skilled photographer but also a good knowledgeable talker, skilled mountaineer, and a talking dictionary on any subject you're up with. Mr. Dvijendra Kane. By profession, he is an established civil engineer when asked. A wonderful company it was. I felt it was back to my school days, as everyone had childlike innocence, keeping aside their egos and professional status. Curiosity, innocence, caring, helping, and many mood swings a child would express was seen in these 2 days of this journey from all of us, which was blissful and hair-raising with nostalgia. As planned, we reached in the afternoon, and the premise was a warm welcome with the man's best friend, Bush, a GSD. One cannot miss him, patting and cuddling. A wonderful premise just pulls you in and sets your mood for a perfect weekend. The best part was that the network drops here and you are in the womb of Mother Nature. So it's all the more wonderful than getting hounded by the calls, as your everyday routine ends with a blissful break here. Or should I say, the state butterfly premise greets you for a brush up with their large winged beauties? Yes, we were at the posh resort of the Bhimashankar, the Blue Mormon, a newly brought up place with every amenity one would ask for, and it's there in its most comfortable and presentable way. I would love to stay here forever. The bungalows are so stylish and comfortable that everyone gets his, her own space required to pump up their energy and get going. Spacious, lavish, and comfort. If one has to look for in a resort, it's all here in this premise, along with solace and rich natural beauty. It's also a major hub for moths and butterflies during rains, as the manager spoke his heart. But you have to book well in advance or just call Dr. Sudhir, who will arrange everything for you. I would rather not take that pains, as I believe in my friend's management, and his humble hospitality has bonded us for the last 6 years. Enough of his praises, or he will get an opportunity to blush. Immediately after lunch, which was a classic buffet where no food was wasted, we set our targets for the long-awaited nature trail to see the giant squirrel. The climate was perfect and the landscape was set to complement the mood that we all were waiting for. I had never seen the flying squirrel or the giant squirrel. The local name of it is shekru in Maharashtra. It's the state animal of Maharashtra. One has to be very silent while navigating this precious rodent family member. This rare squirrel species looks like a cusp of a rabbit and a squirrel. A large and fluffy specimen is all a treat for a jaw struck. A beautiful combination of rust brown and buff with its furry and well-combed tail was a visual treat indeed. The eyes are so mesmerizing that they express a lot to you. Their sharp sound just echoes in the canopy and alerts the others that there are intruders. The jumpsuits or the free skydiving suits were probably an idea inspired from this fine specimen of Mother Nature. The day's beginning just went fruitful with the shakroos. We could spot many after 15 minutes of walking. I could manage clicking some videos with my Coolpix P900 Nikon. I purposely had this camera to experiment its potential, and trust me that it was better than my expectations. Even some stills were satisfactory, which was least expected from a point and shoot camera. But a review on Coolpix P900 Nikon would surely come from my desk in my next post about its phenomenal potential versus the big gears. This camera definitely defies the drawbacks of a mere point and shoot. Rather, it's an excellent amalgamation of many lenses into one. Only its battery is a hitch, and few features for slow shutter speed is a limitation there. But one would not guess what one could get from this excellent make from Nikon unless it's used. A lightweight, handy, and a strong companion for any nature trail, I would say. A wonderful start of the day with this shakru made up a mood to explore more. There are many bird species too which I had read before coming to this place. Guess what? I could get many of them through my search along with Dr. Rajneesh Khadi. We also helped others to get what we saw, and some were privileged to see them and capture them in their gears. It was nesting time, it seems, as most birds were busy collecting twigs. Some were in the making, and some were just setting up the mood for their romance, enticing the females with their calls for an extended family planning. But for me, it was a treat to both ears and eyes, and tried to cover up mostly through my videos. My heart was overwhelmed as my comeback to this place was after 24 years. This place drastically changed as roads are built inside to observe the beauty of the forest at both sides while one is walking through it. I decided to split instead of crowding all 13. Dr. Rajneesh and I especially love finding birds when navigating through this dense and serene environment. Every 2 meters we found something new. And we used to go call others to see it so that others also get benefited. It's always fun in sharing what you get, as being generous is all we have learned from Mother Nature. One has to be selfless if he or she calls us nature lovers. The night mood was set to see the fireflies. Temperature dropped and light drizzles too had begun. We all waited for the drizzling to stop, and probably Mother Nature heard our inner voice. The mood was perfect for an observation which was never before done by me, not at this larger scale as expressed by Dr. Sudhir. Mist started fogging our tempo traveler, and we were rubbing the water vapor off our windows and clearing its way. Finally, we reached the spot where we halted. And guess what? There were torches peeping through the canopies. Or was it the nature's graphic equalizer which was set to appeal every soul sitting in the tempo traveler? Or were they spying the new intruders who just arrived in their territories? Or did those glowing eyes want to greet us with their warm welcome? Oh my God! We were all enthralled with this scenario. A truly divine plethora with a perfect sky and a perfect background of the harmonious fireflies who had a rhythm in their glow. Colors that I had never seen in my life, although being an artist by profession. I can bet these colors cannot be imitated in pictures through our rendering. It was the best lightings for a celebration which wasn't man-made for a change. It was like a Christmas Eve or a Diwali Eve where we see a congregation of lights everywhere. But these were programmed by Mother Nature and were truly mesmerizing and original from any manipulation. Or should I say a pub without music, filled with only rhythm and joy, filled with colors to soothe one's soul and mind. Click, click, and click. Only shutter sounds were heard. Everyone was trying their luck to capture the spectacle in their respective lenses. But my camera couldn't fulfill which I was witnessing by my eyes. But I didn't give up and tried for some to make as animated GIFs. More than that, some could manage getting some dramatic effects that it wasn't seen by the naked eyes. I just told Dr. Sudhir that what we saw cannot be seen in the snaps, but yet the taken wasn't a misleading one. It was truly a skill capturing them in the lenses, and few amongst us could achieve with their gears. Bliss, bliss, and only bliss. We all felt and claimed after we returned from that place. I have just no words to express this event, although I tried expressing through my blog and this Calmcast. One has to experience this event, and I'm sure could fall short of words like me. There are certain things which cannot be captured mechanically, like true love. One cannot quantify or scale the depth of love is exactly the feeling that one experiences after seeing these nature-lit angels. Truly jaw-dropping experience that made everyone happy. Although I failed capturing it in my gears, I would surely write and ask the Nikon professionals if Coolpix P900 can deliver this event, as I tried constantly to achieve it but couldn't. That would be too much of the expectations from this gear, as I always feel one shouldn't give up hope, as it's the ultimate test of testing one's patience and definitely the knowledge. I always enjoy stretching my limits, as it becomes my case study for sharing. It's always better than giving up. The hangover of this deciduous pub will be etched in my memories forever. I would urge you all to experience this, especially during the beginning of the monsoon season. So please pack your gears and station your base to Bhimashankar to experience this deciduous pub adventure. Even the Shakru is a visual treat, and if one is lucky to navigate for the birds, I'm sure it's a great combination. And nothing more, if one could get to see the leopard, then I would say it's a blessing from the Almighty's desk. What can one expect as nature lovers more than this? My expectations for the next year will surely have this event to be experienced, but that time I will get the right gears to finally capture this unfulfilled dream of mine. Thanks to all for your unconditional love and patience for reading and hearing this blog. Please share if you like. Let it reach every corner for everyone to enjoy, and come and see this event if possible during the season. Stay blessed always. Some tips for your nature trail. Make your pre-bookings at the Blue Mormon, as immediate bookings may not be available. So call before you plan your trail and ask about the climatic conditions there. Do carry a camera rain cover to avoid your camera getting wet. Also, a handy poncho is advisable if it rains heavy. A hat is a must, as the sun picks up the heat while you're walking on the tar path. Ask for a local guide and avoid being in larger groups, as the squirrel is a shy animal and it runs faster before the groups reach capturing it in their gears. Do not get excited, although it is difficult to control, as it may scare the specimen and you will have to wait or miss the moment. Proper trek shoes, preferably anklet shoes, is a must if you feel entering the woods for a bird or the shakru chase. Since there are snakes too in the park, keep your eyes and ears sharp to the surroundings, as leopards are also observing you while you may end up navigating a bird count. Be alert and do not get scared for any sudden visitor. Carry a sack with some light snacks and a water bottle, as to keep hydrated on the trail. Stay away from any stranger other than your guide, as your talks could encourage or be a threat to you for a robbery. Although we didn't come across any such incident, but our guide had warned us before splitting up. Google before you go to this place and study a bit about the flora and fauna of Bhimashankar. The more, the merrier is always an healthy way to explore for more sharing and storytelling. Do encourage your guides on your return generously so that you get a warm welcome from them the next time you visit. Perks need not be monetary but may be compensated with gifts that could be useful to them in their knowledge and education, sharing this wonderful moment of Mother Nature, leaving a memento or your presence in their hearts. Thank you.